Good evening, friends. Welcome to one of our 15 Fridays of Gut Health. Today is Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to you. And by following the theme of love, today's event is duly named Loving Your Guts, or Love Your Guts, however I put it on my list. Can you believe that we have done 8 of these up until now? We're on the 9th out of 15 Fridays of Gut Health. I don't know what I'm going to do on Friday night after this ends. Maybe I'll just start a new series because this has been a lot of fun, whether you watch with me during the live Zoom event, or if you watch later on through the YouTube channel where I post these. These have been a lot of fun. And if you want me to catch you up on what we talked about, because I'm someone who really likes to know how and why things work, especially when it comes to our bodies. Um, Going back to when I first started taking good care of my gut health, I didn't want to do the things that I had to do in order to make it work for my body and heal and go better until I could figure out how that worked or why it worked or what went on here. I like to do the research, and therefore I like to share the research that I have done to kind of give you a little more peace of mind knowing that what you would be undertaking if we were to work together on your gut health and the gut health of your friends. If you want to bring along some accountability partners, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. Um, I like helping people figure out how this works. And I will always say to do your own research and stuff, but this is all the things that I found when I've done my research. And up until today, for the past 8 weeks before that, so that's about 2 months worth of events every Friday night, it is quite the worthwhile commitment because what better thing to commit to than taking good care of your health, right? So starting from the first one, we did one for beating the holiday treats, which is just how to do holidays without wanting to overindulge in the cookies and candies and cakes and all the fun things that you find in Willy Wonka's little um, warehouse there when he had the whole room full of edible things. I don't know what to call it right now. And after that, we did women's health and pregnancy for obvious reasons. I hope this little boy lets me finish out this event series. If not, I guess I will do some recording from the hospital, which ought to be interesting. If you do ask me, I will try to get them in somehow. Even if I have to kick the nurses out and say, "Can you hold my son in the nursery so I could take care of this event because it's really important because it's pre-planned." Um, and in the beginning of January, I did starting the New Year strong, which was a really good plan to get off to a strong start with the new year, or whenever you do start off with a new gut healthy type plan, such as one we're going to talk about tonight. Then we did blood sugar balance and insulin resistance, one for getting to the root of pain, one for healthy natural energy, immunities and gut health. Last week was the mental health connection, and we are now on the Loving Your Gut. And I will introduce the next one at the end of this video. So if you see me looking down, again, I take loads and loads of notes, and the page and a half that I've written out should only take about 15-ish minutes. So if you sit with me for that time, I do appreciate it. So let's get started going off of everything that I've talked about weeks prior to now. And on top of that, things that you can do on the daily. My usual routine if you have watched these videos before. If not, let me introduce it. Usually I will start with a few simple questions and then go through the research for each answer. But since this is um, more of like recommendations and ways to live a healthy lifestyle type of video, it's not very deeply scientific like, say, a video about insulin resistance would be. But a few of the questions here would be in what ways can you live on your gut? How can we do this together? And how do you get your best results? So just kind of like 3 basic questions to go off of. And I really didn't have to do any research because this is the basis of everything that I talk about all the time anyway. So it's kind of off the top of my head by now. It's second nature. It's like knowing that I have to drink enough water in a day, which is one of the aspects to it. Um, the more you do it, the more you get used to it. It's really quite simple. It doesn't take a whole lot of skills. You don't have to be Einstein in order to figure out how to take care of your gut health. That's why I said anyone can do it. Um, Taking care of your gut health is for anyone who has a gastrointestinal tract. I don't know why I said gestation. I think I'm thinking about uh, childbirth and stuff too much because I wrote my birth sign too. But anyway, I digress. Um, Ways that you can love on your gut. Obviously, the most crucial point, and you'll hear this even if you get a personal trainer at the gym, and that is not working out. That is not the most important thing. The most important thing is to eat a healthy and well balanced diet. Because whether you're trying to get buff or get in shape or drop some pounds, or you just want to heal your body from taking so many medications, whatever it might be, it always starts in the kitchen, believe it or not. 80% of the battle is what you put into your mouth, what you ingest, what you consume. And to add on to that, aside from what you eat, what you consume in regards to media, and regards to what you listen to, news, even your music, everything, what you listen to from other people, everything you consume has an effect on the condition of your body and your gut health and everything. Everything is connected, everything is related. That is the most fascinating part about it. If you get to the root cause and the root, like if you think of your body like a tree, you water the roots, right? You don't put water on the leaf and hope the whole tree does great, correct? You go and you water the roots of the tree for it to flourish. And of course, this will be your spring season coming up. So our spring is coming up pretty soon. I think toward the end of next month here in New York, we will start seeing spring temperatures, and we'll start to see leaves blooming, and grass will start to be green instead of yellow because it will start to come back to life after the cold weather. So that is something you can kind of ideally use as a reference. So make this gut healthy season your spring season where you bloom into good gut health. But that doesn't mean take a break over the winter. I promise you. that's the that's where the metaphor ends. Just bloom into good health. Okay. On top of eating well and having a balanced diet, you're going to want to drink plenty of water in a day. So I don't mean just have a little sip of water here and there. I mean, go step on a scale. I know we don't all like the scale. I especially don't like the scale right now. I literally cried the last time I saw it, but then I have to remind myself it's all right out here in front. But I digress. Whatever the number is on the scale, you cut that number in half, and though that number that you come up with, drink that many ounces of water in a day, because that would be your ideal recommended amount of water to consume in a day. And if you drink anything else, say if you have a coffee, or if you drink a soda or a tea or anything else, or an energy drink, that help you. I wouldn't recommend those because they are yucky. Um, you would go one for one. So if you had a 16-ounce bottle of Pepsi Cola, drink a 16-ounce bottle of water afterward. You don't have to like immediately chase it, but compensate. So if you have a full, I want to say mug, yeah, a full mug of coffee, have a full mug of water, the equal amount. So that's what I'm trying to get at is, things that dehydrate you, you want to compensate with hydration. And water is the key to life. So you're not going to pour coffee into a fish tank and hope all your fish survive. Now, are you? They would be the most neurotic fish in the world, or they might perish, unfortunately. But I say most neurotic because I don't know what happens when you give fish caffeine, but I know what happens when you give your body too much caffeine. It's just a stimulant. You're not actually getting yourself natural energy. If you want to hear more about that, go back to the event about healthy natural energy and how it is produced within the body. And the secret is it comes from drinking plenty of water and also having a well balanced diet more than it comes from caffeine or any kind of upper. Of course. And also in those regards to what you consume, you're going to want to cut out the sugar, the processed foods, and alcohol. I know. I can't just ask every single person on this planet to cut out alcohol completely because I did. But alcohol in itself, aside from kind of throwing your system off, if you're not going to compensate every ounce of alcohol you drink with water, you're also doing your body a disservice when it comes to your overall health. So if you're a big gym goer and then you come home and you crack open, like my stepdad used to say, a brewski or two or three or 10 or whatever, you're like doing your body a bunch of good and then doing your body a bunch of bad. And so you're never going to really get into that balance. Sorry, I didn't have any dinner yet, but I have the pregnancy indigestion because I have no more room left. And my stomach is like right up under here and it's all titled. It's taking up all the room. So if I have these hiccups, I cannot help it. I'm trying to just swallow the hiccup. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so sugars, processed foods, anything that comes like in a cellophane wrapper, anything that's real quick to make, easy to eat, say that's not really whole foods. Sure, that can be a great substitute if you're on the go. However, you're still doing your body a disservice. You know, sugar creates inflammation because I'll get into it more into later in the video. But something that lives in your gut, and you only need a little bit in your body to help your body decompose when it does pass away. That is candida yeast. But when you get an overgrowth of it, it'll make you crave more sugary things and even to a degree more alcohol and more of this processed food. It'll say, okay, I love the junk food. Give me all the junk food. So maybe you are not a junk food junkie, but your candida yeast overgrowth is. And it's actually something that's related to kind of like yeast infections and even things like eczema and stuff like that. So if you get a lot of dandruff and stuff, it could be a sign of an imbalanced gut, and so is acne. Uh, so when it comes to that, you really want to 86 the candida yeast from your body, and the best way to do that is to starve it out by don't give it much sugar. You know, cut down your sugary foods intakes and cut down the intake of highly processed foods and things that are found on the fast food menu. You know, like even a lot of things that are found in restaurants and stuff. So, or if you go to Dunkin' Donuts and you get a whole half a dozen donuts, don't eat all half a dozen in one sitting. You're going to do your body a disservice. You're going to feed the candida yeast. You're going to feel sluggish. You might get a little like quick sugar high and then drop way back down because that's not natural energy either. And you are just creating a bigger problem for yourself because the more you consume, the harder it is to get off of it. And what I learned that once I did start to clean my body out of sugar, really quick side story here. I think it was about 3 or 4 years ago for my birthday, my brother got us these bright green, startlingly green shamrock shakes because my birthday is St. Patrick's Day. Um, and that thing had so much sugar in it that it made me sick. It made me feel like my lips were like blown up. My stomach hurt so bad. I was not a happy camper. So the longer I went without the sugar, the more my body recognized sugar as kind of like an invader, as a not a friendly, not friendly, more of a foe, and more of a detriment to the body. And that doesn't mean eat the sugar so you stay acclimated to it because it'll keep your body unhealthy. That means get rid of it and stay away from it for your most optimal health. And like I said, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just trying to tell you what really works in making your body very well. So when you do start to balance your body out and you don't crave the sugar anymore, you can enjoy the one cookie like a treat as it's intended instead of eating the whole box of cookies like it's a meal, like some of us have done. Guilty. I ate a whole box of Oreos for dinner in the past. That was not good, but I don't do that now. And if I did that now, I'd be in so much trouble. My body would be very unhappy with me. I'd probably sleep for 3 days. I don't know what would happen, but I'm not going to test the theory. Okay. So, on top of that, supplementing your diet, and we're going to go more into that in the next question. But when it comes to what is really good for your body, we can really only consume so much in a day before we feel overly full. So, if you have several cups of broccoli, that might be really good for insulin sensitivity in your body. However, who really wants to eat like huge servings of broccoli every single day? That's why we have supplementation to help fill in the nutritional gaps without having to overeat in order, excuse me again, to get the same benefits. Um, that just kind of makes it simplified. So you can have the properly portioned size meals to fit your dietary needs and also get all your nutritional needs filled at the same time with good probiotics, good vitamins, all of the works. And that is the benefit in supplements. Of course, you always have to be very diligent in what's in the supplements. There goes the indigestion again. Someone had to mention food before my take 2 on this video. So now my body's like, yeah, you want to eat food, but you're also going to be miserable. Oh, I can't wait to not be pregnant anymore. I seriously cannot wait. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a my body has had its capacity of dealing with this. Um, okay, on top of supplementing, eating a balanced meal, drinking plenty of water, cutting out the sugars, what's next? I did mention it before. If you are to go to the gym, of course, they say your main culprit in making you unhealthy is your diet. But secondary to that, obviously, is the physical activity. And they say a good recommended amount is minimum of 30 minutes of activity daily. And that is, just being physically active in some way. You don't want to just sit and veg out the entire day without moving, especially if you have a sedentary job. You don't really have the opportunity to get up and do jumping jacks if you work at an office. I mean, people will probably look at you like you're funny if you do that right next to your desk, but go home and do that. Have that as part of your healthy routine. You can do light physical fitness type activities, or you could even just make sure that you get in. Most of our phones have a step counter. Make sure you get in what was minimum, like 6,000 steps. Try to get those in. If you feel like you haven't gotten your steps in and you just had dinner, wait a few minutes and then go take a walk around the block or something. Just it helps everything move along. It is very crucial in things like your metabolism and your blood flow, and also just kind of feeling your best. Because, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. If you were once a really active person or a very athletic, you could run fast as a kid, or you were super flexible, or whatever it might be. If you don't do any of those things as an adult, you're going to lose those abilities and you're more likely to hurt yourself because you will stiffen up. And so, staying limber and staying active, your proper water, and eating a balanced diet, and supplementing your diet, staying away from sugar, and everything working together. Like I said, it's very simple and it's just a healthy lifestyle. Embrace the healthy lifestyle. So, the last 2 points I want to get in here is they kind of go hand in hand. To diminish the stress in your life can also be a key factor in having yourself feel your best. And how does that work? Well, stress is a silent killer. Having too much stress in your body, too much cortisol running through your body, that is your stress hormone, it can be a more of a detriment to your body than you uh, might even think about, because it can lead to slower healing times, and your body's just in this panic state, and it's harder for healthy, healthy body functions to happen. Even things like healing your wound might take longer if you're a more stressed out person. So, what goes on between your ears, like I said before, what you consume, aside from just your food, is very important. And if you need other ways to deal with your stress, there are things like journaling or seeking counsel or talking to good friends who are non-judgmental, and also things like personal growth and development. I keep looking over at my bookshelf over there, and when you want to think about that, I would say books like What to Say When You Talk to Yourself is great, or Switch on Your Brain, or even Atomic Habits. If being a stressed out person is a habit of yours, um, you have to work on something to replace that bad habit. And one thing that worked for me when I was a very stressed out person is I actually got in more physical activity in order to alleviate the stress. I got into kickboxing, and I would just put on those boxing gloves and put the face of whatever or whomever was stressing me out on the heavy bag, and I would just go at it. I would just hit the heavy bag. And getting into this physical activity, using my body, and uh, exerting all this energy that I was creating by exerting more energy and eating cleaner actually helped to diminish the feelings of stress and increase the happy hormones like dopamine and serotonin naturally instead of having to take any kind of medications. Like I've mentioned before, when it came to the mental health connection, when I was saying that you really don't need these, you don't need these medications for mental health if you take these physical steps in order to heal your body and be more physically active and do all these proper things to make yourself feel better intentionally. It kind of like you got to put the working boots on in order to do these things. You have to put work in. It's very simple. I didn't say it was easy because at first, of course, it seems easier to just take a medication and be done with it and don't think about it. But the problem's still going to be there. And I don't want to get all preachy about this, but I do feel really strongly about this. I don't really need to take any medication when I have issues that arise in regards to things like anxiety because I've learned how to manage it better. I can take my mind out of that place by thinking about more productive things. Or even I can get into some physical activity, limited right now, of course, but I do enjoy physical activity and getting my mind involved in that, working up my body and like creating all the happy hormones myself through the physical activity has been highly beneficial and the preferred method to get over with and kind of deal with the anxiety and stuff. So I would highly recommend stuff like that, especially if you've been on these medications for a long time. And if you want more information, go back and watch the video about those topics when it comes to mental health and the medications and stuff. And the side effects are not worth the difference. And that is my final point when it comes to the subject of what you can do to love your gut. Get as med free as possible. Now, like I said, the mental health medications are not as beneficial as gut healthy supplements, and I'll tell you why. They're artificial. Um, they don't really last, and when you want to get off them, you have to do it gradually because of serious side effects that you can have both when you're using it, when you stay on it too long, and also if you try to go cold turkey. So altogether, it is a recipe for disaster, if you ask me. But not even just that. When it comes to kind of like medicating for your reaction to, like I mentioned, spring is coming. If you get the sniffles when all the flowers start to bloom, or when people cut their lawn, as I used to, it'd be very miserable. And then you'd always take something for it, right? You'd always take an antihistamine. However, if you start to take good care of your gut health, you create a healthy state in your gut. And then you can also kind of give your immune system a bit of a break from having to try to heal your gut while you're doing it at a detriment. And then you will have a greater resistance to these outside, literally outdoors factors. Things that you're kind of having allergic reactions to. And it is very, very beneficial to go the gut health route because in the long run, it's less expensive. It doesn't make you drowsy, doesn't create a dependency, and it solves, you ever heard the expression two birds with one stone? Well, this is like 10 birds with one stone. So if your one little simple routine that you do once a day helps you with all these different things, why would you want to go back to medication? I don't know. That's for you to decide. But what I want to say on that part is when you think of your gut health as, you have a balanced, healed gut, you take care of your blood sugar, and you also manage inflammation on your body. When you think of these three key pillars, you are more likely to have a healthy state within your body. And if I keep looking over there, it's just because my dog is doing dog stuff. Sorry about that. So it does not have to be complicated. It is very simple. I just have a lot to say about it. And what are some ways that we can do this together? On to the second question. Almost done. So I can help you get started with a really simple gut healthy routine. Like I said, it's like a once a day type thing. It's very simple, 3 to 4 products that you can take in place of countless different types of medications that only deal with the symptoms of things that you're dealing with because it addresses the root causes and it addresses healing. And you're going to want to drink your recommended amount of water, and you're going to want to get your body into motion. You get in physical activity every single day. So, these types of things will help you do things like curb cravings. They'll clean your body of the buildup of candida yeast, which we talked about a little bit before, and other kinds of those little kinds of toxins that are stuck in our body. If you've never, heard of like the muddy footprints that, so to speak, I'm not saying you have mud in your body, but the muddy footprints, so to speak, that come from taking medications over a long period of time, it does leave its remnants. And having a dependency on these things and environmental factors, or even cigarette smoke, things that are more attuned to being an antioxidant. For example, one of the ingredients, or several of the ingredients in what I mix in here, are comprised of superfood antioxidants, and antioxidants help you clean this icky stuff out of your body, along with our probiotic that we have. It helps to break down things within your body and break down the hard shell of the candida yeast, which has a shell on it, believe it or not, kind of like a cockroach. And they're really hard to get rid of unless you smash them, or like, think of like a tick. Ooh, you have to kind of pull the tick off yourself or your dog or whoever got the tick. And you can't just smash them like you smash a fly. You have to kind of incinerate them. Uh, you have to destroy their hard outer shell in order to get rid of them completely and, nullify them. Same thing goes for the candida yeast. It's very hard to get rid of if you're just going to eat a little bit cleaner. You want something that'll go in there and actually take it out and expel it out of your digestive system. You know what I mean? Go to that. Because as much as we don't like talking about it, having a healthy bathroom routine, if you're eating 3 times a day, you should be eliminating 3 times a day. That is very crucial. And I don't know if it's because I'm about to become a mom that I'm comfortable talking about this, or because I love gut health so much that I'm comfortable talking about this, or both. But being able to eliminate every time you eat is very important. Keeps your body very healthy, keeps these icky things from staying in your body and making you unhealthy. Oh my God. Almost done, because I cannot deal with this indigestion anymore. So you can heal the issues that you would normally medicate for, like I mentioned, through these 3 pillars of health, gut health, blood sugar balance, and inflammation. If you think of health in this way, rather than thinking, okay, I need a medication to solve this symptom or that symptom, and then all of a sudden you have like a little army of medication bottles that's costing you an arm and a leg in your health. That's the key factor. Even if it's all covered by your insurance, it's still going to cost you your health in some way. Just look at the side effects and actually look at the packet that they give you when they give you the prescription, because you'll be like, holy moly, what am I giving my body? Maybe I should go try this gut health thing because it doesn't have all these side effects. The only thing you'll probably deal with when it comes to healing your gut is a period of detoxification in your body. Or, that period of time, if in layman's terms, where your body is flushing out all the icky stuff that makes you unhealthy. Like I mentioned before, the candida yeast, the toxins, the um, the muddy footprints of the medications that you might have taken in the past, or even the remnants of all the sugary and processed foods, and even from the alcohol, and dare I say, even things like I experienced with having knee surgery. My body detoxed out the anesthesia, and it tasted like plastic in my mouth because I got to the detoxification process really quickly after surgery. So within about a week, I felt really clear headed. Whereas usually I've heard people stay drowsy for a period of time after going under the knife with anesthesia. Just something to think about. Okay. And when it comes to healthy movement and a healthy diet, we also have this wonderful program called Pivotal, and it's open to anyone who gets their gut healthy products. And it runs for 12 weeks at a time, 12-week intervals, and each week you'll get three sets of workouts. So it's like a minimum of 3 days of kind of semi-intensive, but you're able to modify for your level of experience. So if you're a beginner or you're a moderate or even advanced, like instead of asking you to do 50 crunches, if you're not advanced, you can do like 15. But it gives you these 3 days of movement for each week that are a little bit more intense than just taking a walk. And it's very effective. And you can repeat it as much as you want. But the great thing about this too is that it also gives dietary ideas and some recipes and kind of like a shopping list where you can go to the grocery store and you know exactly what to buy in order to make some of these really good recipes that they have. And we have it easily accessible through an app, which can help you track your movement days, track what you've tried to eat, and all sorts of fun things. So it is a really fun way to help your body get into the shape that you want it to be in when it comes to your health and maybe even getting into shape, what have you. But, getting into a really healthy state. And it's really fun. I've done it several times now. I think I've done the Pivotal program about 5 times since it's launched. But I'm also like a workout fanatic. I love to eat really healthy foods, um, just naturally. So I will bring that on board when I want to try new recipes and also when I kind of want to have an official tracking of my progress. And yes, I will also add in my own workouts and my own routines and stuff like that. You can also do that. You don't have to track those, but it's just something to help to give you some more initiative, especially if you're in the beginner state and you're like, I don't know where to begin. It's exactly where you begin. You get your gut healthy supplements. It qualifies you to use this really free program that's worth thousands of dollars, if you ask me. It has been so beneficial. I've seen so many success stories with it. It's insane. So, on to our last topic out here. And before I get on the last topic, we also have a wellness community. It's not just me, it's all my friends in gut health, and they all love their guts and they all love to help other people love their guts and get off to a strong start and stick to it. So we have this really great wellness community. It doesn't just have, tips and tricks, but we have these communal resets, which is the 3-day metabolic reset that we have within our company that is a nutritionally supported fast, so to speak. Like you're not completely starving yourself. You're just eating, a few things throughout the day, just in this box. And it lasts for 3 days and it helps people get off to a really strong start. If that's something on your radar, I would definitely check that out. And you are not in this alone. I promise you, you'll have me, you'll have a community, and this comes into our last point. You can bring other friends along because how fun is it to get well together? I love the communal aspect of this. As being, excuse me again, when I started, I was a very, 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 very much a novice when it came to gut health. I did not know that, my elbow from my forehead when it came to some of these things until I learned. So it was really beneficial to do it alongside other people who might have been on the journey a little bit longer. And I also, just like I'm sharing with you, whom I hope will want to get started and start crushing your goals, you can share with other people and saying, you know what? I know this person, and this person, they all really kind of have these health goals, but they never really reach them. Every January, I see them saying they want to eat better, or they want to get in shape, or they want this and they want that, and they don't really have a place to start with. This is a place where they can get started, just like you, just like me, just like everyone in our wellness community. Bring them along. We do it together. And you know what happens when you have other people kind of like watching what you're doing? You're more likely to stick to what you have to do in order to get the results that you want. That is how you create accountability in yourself. You set the goal and you go for it, and you'll have everyone else cheering you on. And you can teach them how to do the same thing. They'll have other people cheering them on. And if they know people who also want to get healthy, we've just created a whole new branch of our big old wellness community. All people from all different levels of experience, from beginners to mediates to advanced to hyper super duper advanced, or I have no idea what the heck I'm doing. It's all different levels. Everyone can find success and everyone can cheer each other on because this is a very positive and very uplifting community that just wants to see you succeed. And we want to see each other succeed. And there is definitely, after all these years, a lot of us have done this. There's definitely a story that you can relate to. Someone who has had similar goals to you and they've run with it and they've achieved the goal. You say, wow, I didn't think it would be possible because I had this, and this all going on. But this person had those too. And look at them now. And it's all filled with motivation and inspiration and help and support and that big, wonderful communal feel where you actually feel like you're being lifted up rather than being torn down. There's too many communities like that. That is not what we're about. If you like tear people down, this is not for you. If you're going to make fun of people on their journey, this is also not for you. This is for people who have big goals, that they want to take care of themselves, reach their goals, perhaps cheer on other people, bring on other people. This is the community that you've been looking for. This is the one that I was looking for. It reminds me very much of when I was a teenager in the school chorus, being around other people who love to sing. Because this is like an ensemble of people who love their guts. We're not all standing on risers and rehearsing the same songs, but we have similar goals. And the goal is to become the best version of ourselves. And if that's on your radar too, come back to me and we'll talk about ways to get you started. If you had a friend invite you who said, just check out this video, see what we're all about, and get back to the friend who invited you by seeing this video. They're probably on the team. And I would love to see you get started. I'd love to see you stick to it and reach your goals and surprise yourself in a year from now because you never know how far you can take yourself. So we can all achieve our goals. And there's nothing that's really truly impossible except, flying like Mary Poppins off your roof. Don't do that. But you can take good care of yourself. You can get into healthy activity levels. You can get into a healthy state of body and mind. And it all starts with the root. So I don't want to bore you any longer. And honestly, I'm pregnant, so I have to pee. So I will cut this short. It has been fun. I really enjoyed making these videos, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.